Taylor Swift is one of the most famous people on the planet, and in 2023, she reached a whole new level of fame that we've never seen before with the launch of her Eras Tour.
I'm going back on tour.
Her tour had 152 shows, with 3.5 hours of runtime, celebrating one of the best discographies music has ever seen. A tour that iHeartRadio awarded Tour of the Century.
Nominated for 10, including her Eras Tour being named Tour of the Century.
In this video, we'll be going to 4 Eras Tour shows. We're going to be going to some of the biggest shows of the entire tour, starting with the very first show of the Eras Tour.
Just put a countdown on the screen.
This is a story of obsession, hope, and the power of music. In this video, we're going to take a deep dive through the chaos, the excitement of the Eras Tour, and I'm going to see for myself whether this tour is as good as the internet says that it was. You see, actually going to the Eras Tour was next to impossible. And I'm not just saying that to be dramatic, it was legitimately next to impossible. When Taylor Swift announced the Eras Tour, records were broken for the amount of pre-sale signups that were registered for this tour. On the actual day of the pre-sale, 14 million users attempted to purchase tickets, not only breaking the record for the most pre-sale buys in the history of music, but also completely shutting down Ticketmaster and making it almost impossible to get your hands on tickets. And when the actual pre-sale day came around, Ticketmaster completely crashed, and the only people who seemed to get their hands on tickets were bots and scalpers.
Eras Tour broke all kinds of records, but the battle to get a ticket broke a lot of her fans' hearts. Some blame ticket hackers who used bots to try to buy up seats and resell them for big profits, but that happened before fans ever had a chance.
Right off the bat, there was so much controversy around this that even the United States Congress got involved.
Senators grilled Ticketmaster about the Eras Tour chaos.
Banking services, credit card processors, they get bot attacks every single day by the thousands. And they have figured it out, but you guys haven't.
And the cultural impact as well of the Eras Tour is a phenomenon on a global scale.
It absolutely did. It made so much money, over $2 billion.
But the real question is, was all of this worth it? Was the show gonna live up to the hype of this ridiculous pre-sale? Well, I flew to Glendale, Arizona to find out for myself.
Yeah, we are about to head to Glendale, aka Swift City, to see Taylor.
We're on our way to Swift City.
The car ride to the show was unlike anything I've ever experienced before in my life. From the cars on the road to the signs on the highway, everything in the city of Glendale, Arizona was pointing towards one of the most historical nights in live music history. You see, Taylor Swift started the Eras Tour with a countdown clock. The amount of chaos that ensued from Taylor putting a countdown on the screen was crazy.
They just put a countdown on the screen.
You see, that first night of the Eras Tour was crazy because we didn't know set list, nothing had leaked. I mean, we knew nothing going into that show. And at this point in time, Taylor Swift hadn't toured in like 5 years, so there were a lot of albums that Taylor had released that she hadn't performed live before. For instance, Taylor had never performed Cruel Summer before. And you know, since it was the first night of the Eras Tour, no one had heard Champagne Problems live before. And watching back the footage still to this day, it's quite surreal to be in the room for all of these insane songs being performed for the very first time. But the most memorable part of that night was the introduction of surprise songs. You see, surprise songs would end up being the most famous part of the Eras Tour, the thing that made it absolutely blow up in popularity. Every single night at the Eras Tour, Taylor would play 2 very unique songs, one on the guitar and one on the piano. And every single show had a different unique set of surprise songs to be able to differentiate it from all the other Eras Tour shows. But this immediately made it possible to see your favorite song if it wasn't in the set list. You just had to get lucky. So essentially, every Eras Tour show was unique. Now, the internet absolutely ran with this idea of surprise songs.
Oh my God! Exile!
Sometimes life doesn't go the way you planned, and you need to talk to someone to get through it. And that's where therapy comes in. You see, my first time going to therapy, I was shocked at what it was actually like. You see, when I first went into therapy, I was feeling very confused and very scared of the direction that my life was headed in. But when I left the appointment, I was shocked at how much of a difference it made in how I viewed my future. A therapist will listen, ask questions, and help see new perspectives. They can also give you advice and techniques on how to make positive changes in your life. BetterHelp is the paid partner of this video, and they're on a mission to try and help make starting therapy easier. Fill out a questionnaire and you will match with a therapist as soon as possible. And you can easily switch therapists at no extra cost if it's not the right fit. With over 7,000 reviews and a 4.3 rating on Trustpilot, BetterHelp is a platform that you can trust. Click the link in the description or go to betterhelp.com/AlexB to get 10% off your first month of therapy. Thank you so much to BetterHelp for being the paid partner of this video, but let's get back to the video. And everyone I was with came into the show with a dream song that they wanted performed. For instance, my girlfriend wanted Getaway Car to be performed. She even dressed up in the Getaway Car outfit. And spoiler alert, Getaway Car was not performed, so she didn't get her dream song. My dream song to be performed was State of Grace from the Red album, and that also didn't get performed. However, my mum's favorite song was Marjorie. Taylor Swift played Marjorie live, and I was able to capture my mum's reaction on camera. But as we made our way through the concert, it was finally time for surprise songs. And for opening night, we got Mirrorball and Tim McGraw as surprise songs. As we got to the end of surprise songs and towards the end of the show, I started reflecting on the show I'd just seen. It was genuinely one of the best concerts that I'd ever been to. From the unexpected moments throughout the night, to the nervous but excited energy from everyone in the crowd, night one was a success. But now we found ourselves with a decision. Do we go to night two? So that's exactly what we did. We went to night two.
We're at night two.
And night two was completely different than night one. You see, night one had all of that anxiety, all of that not knowing what was coming next. Meanwhile, night two, I knew. So did my girlfriend. So our only job that night was to have the best time possible. And we succeeded. But as the show went on, it came to surprise songs. It's surprise song time. And surprise songs came around, and the very first one was This Is Me Trying. Hearing This Is Me Trying as a surprise song was incredibly therapeutic, and the second surprise song would end up being my dream song. My dream song to be performed was State of Grace from the Red album. This is a state of grace. This is the worth of our life. Love is a ruthless game, unless we play it good and right. Hearing State of Grace live was unbelievable. It's one of my favorite Taylor Swift songs, and it was one of the most beautiful concert moments of my entire life. Fuck that, it was one of the most beautiful moments of my life. Now, I was stoked because I got my dream song. I got State of Grace, but I couldn't help but feel bad for my girlfriend because she wanted Getaway Car so badly. She was a bit crushed, especially when Getaway Car ended up getting performed another night of the Eras Tour. You see, this is something that would end up being quite normal. People would go online and they'd watch really grainy live streams of every single Eras Tour show, just to make sure that their surprise song wasn't played before their concert.
Oh my god, it's the acoustic set!
Ooh, surprise songs predictions. You see, if Taylor Swift plays your favorite song 2 nights before your show, you know you're probably not getting that song. Hundreds of thousands of people every single weekend would tune into the Eras Tour shows via a grainy live stream on TikTok. A whole culture started to surround surprise songs. People would make bets on which songs would be performed. There were like fantasy football type leagues like Swiftball. It was actually insane. And the virality of the Eras Tour show after show after show was like nothing I've ever seen before.
Swift stopping mid-performance of her song Bad Blood to deliver a message.
She went city to city breaking records.
There are 2 Swifties here who shall remain anonymous, who called in sick to work.
That is very true.
Taylor Swift was taking over the world. Every city she went to was hers. This was easily the most viral tour in the history of music.
So to show you something
I received a bunch of them, Reno, but I wanted to give Taylor Swift one with my number on it. All right?
Ooh. My brand new album. It's called The Tortured Poets Department.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
How does it feel to officially be the guy on the Chiefs?
And as Taylor and her show got more famous, the ticket prices also got more expensive. Now, I live in Toronto, and the Toronto shows were crazy. So when she announced the Toronto shows, 30 million people signed up for the Toronto Eras Tour. To put that in perspective, the entire country of Canada has 30 million people in its population. So the entire population of Canada apparently lives in Toronto and wants to go to a Taylor Swift concert. However, Taylor also announced shows in Europe, and my girlfriend happens to live in Scotland. You see, Taylor was playing 3 nights in Scotland, and we had tickets to 2 of the 3 nights. But this also meant that we only had 2 nights of the Eras Tour left to get her dream surprise song. Now, to try and help our odds of getting Getaway Car as a surprise song, my girlfriend decided to start making TikToks a few months out of our Eras Tour show. And the TikToks were just her asking Taylor if she could play Getaway Car as a surprise song at our shows. And leading up to the show, Erin just kept posting TikTok after TikTok after TikTok. She was determined to get Getaway Car as a surprise song. But eventually, it was time to head to Scotland to actually go to the shows. I'm on my way to Scotland. I'm at the airport right now, obviously. My god, I love Scotland, man. We were in Scotland, and it was finally time for night 3 of the Eras Tour. We're in. Oh my god.
Sorry, yeah, we have just like calmed down. Oh my god. You're so welcome. You know what, I really...
Now, I was really stoked to be back at the Eras Tour. And the vibe in the entire stadium, but especially the people we were with, was so good. And when You Don't Own Me came on, Erin was going through every emotion.
Where the
And then we watched the show, and it was just such a good time. And as we made our way through the show, it was finally time for surprise songs. Now, the first surprise song that we got was, drumroll please, Would've, Could've, Should've. Now, for those of you who don't know, alright, this is like a S-tier song in Taylor Swift's discography. This is a really good surprise song to get. Now, something Taylor started doing towards the end of the Eras Tour is she started doing 4 surprise songs every night. She would do 2 mashed up on the guitar and 2 mashed up on the piano. And I'm just gonna let it play as to what she mashed Would've, Could've, Should've up with, because oh my god. So next up we had the piano songs, and the piano songs is where I personally thought Getaway Car would end up being performed. But our first surprise song on the piano was 'Tis the Damn Season. But the question would be, what's 'Tis the Damn Season gonna get paired with? Now, Scotland Night 1 was amazing. The surprise songs were fantastic, and the show was just as good as I remembered. But we still had one more night to get Getaway Car. Okay, wind's blowing. We just got to our seats night 2. Now, we were finally at the final night of the Eras Tour, and it was both really exciting because we were going to the Eras Tour, but also quite sad because we knew that this chapter of our lives was about to end, you know. We weren't going to any other shows. This was the last show. But our main priority was to have the best night of our lives and to really take in this show one last time. The vibes were just good at this show. Vibes were high, everyone was having a good time. But alas, as we made our way through the show, it was finally time for the final surprise songs. Now, before Taylor came on stage, Aaron decided to make one last TikTok, just in case, okay? Just in case, asking for Getaway Car.
Okay, so I want Getaway Car, and I would like the bolter.
Now, Erin really wants Getaway Car, but her dream is to get the bolter mashed up with Getaway Car.
And it's an opportunity for me to really try out some new stuff. Let's see how this goes over.
That's crazy. So Erin got the bolter, one of her 2 requested songs for this night of the Eras Tour, which is crazy, right? Like, that's wild. The odds of us being at this show, it's crazy. But the real question is, what was coming after? What is Taylor pairing with the bolter?
I'm your outside me. Holy shit. Holy shit.
So, is the Eras Tour worthy of Tour of the Century? Over the 2 years that the Eras Tour was on, it was some of the happiest moments of my life tuning into those grainy live streams. Some of the happiest moments of my life getting texts from friends saying they won, or oh my god, Nashville, crazy songs, or oh my god, they just played Great War at this show. Like, it was such a moment, and it was beautiful. And as far as whether it's Tour of the Century, it's my Tour of the Century, man. It's my Tour of the Century by a mile. This video took so long to make. This video is literally like 3 years in the making. So if you could please subscribe, like the video, to show any sort of love, I would be so appreciative. I love all of you so much. And if you were along for the Eras Tour, I hope that this video gave you some of that, you know, nostalgia, and gave you a hit of what it was like. Because, wow, we really witnessed something special. But anyways, I love you all so much. I have such a cool video coming out next. And yeah, subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Peace.